Ellen Simmons for the Rural Radio Network. May is Skin Cancer Awareness Month, and the Nebraska Cancer Coalition is working to educate Nebraskans on the importance of skin cancer prevention. We're joined today by Dr. Charlie, the Dean of UNL Extension and a skin cancer survivor. Now, a key statistic or a fact that people may not know, having 5 or more sunburns doubles your likelihood of developing skin cancer, which is the most common cancer type. So, Dr. Charlie, tell us a little bit about your story and how you were diagnosed with skin cancer.
Well, thanks. How was I diagnosed? Well, just a little background. I grew up on a farm in southeast North Dakota. Back in the day, I spent an enormous amount of time outside in the sun, in the weather, in the elements. I was just thinking, prepping for this, that compared to probably my colleagues that grew up in towns or cities, I have about 30,000 extra hours of UV light exposure because the equipment we had back then didn't have tractor cabs or anything like that on them. You were out in the elements all day long and really didn't take care of skin like we should have back in the day. And so one of the things I noticed a little while ago is I had a spot on the bridge of my nose that if I rubbed it or scraped it, it might bleed a little bit. And I didn't think much about it. I knew to keep an eye on it. And that went on for almost a year. And I thought, next time I go to the doctor, I should get it checked. And so I had the exam and he didn't say anything. And so I said, what about this? And he looks at my nose and he said, well, would you like that checked out? And I said, well, yeah. And so they sent me over to a dermatologist and they said, well, would you like it, you want to freeze it or you want to take a biopsy? And I said, well, what would you do? What would you recommend? They said, well, if you were my wife, I would recommend that you actually have a biopsy to find out and send it in. And sure enough, I had squamous cell carcinoma, which can spread. And so I went in and they did, actually, it's called a Mohs procedure. And I'm really thankful that I had really good physicians, a dermatologist, a plastic surgeon. There was quite a big hole in my face. And so they did a great job. But now that if you come up and meet Dr. Charlie, if you look at his nose, you can see that he's actually had surgery done. They did a nice job, but you can't hide it completely. And so, yeah, it's lots of exposure. And the whole thing about sunburn 5 times, oh my gosh, and maybe put a 0 behind that. And so I have naturally a tan easily, but you can override that. And so thankfully I'm a survivor, but my advice is, hey, 1, protect yourself. And 2, if you see anything, get it checked out right away.
All right. Well, as you alluded to, many farmers and ranchers spend long hours outdoors, so often with significant sun exposure. If you could give any advice to farmers and ranchers about protecting themselves from skin cancer based on your own experience, what would that be?
Well, number 1, don't be a worshiper of the sun. We're all tough, rugged individuals. I have changed from a baseball hat to a wide-brimmed Tilly. It's a type of hat. I'm not here to endorse a certain brand, but it has like a 3-inch brim all the way around. It really protects my face and ears and the back of my neck from that exposure. 2 is, hey, put on sunblock. Your significant other probably is on you a little bit and says, hey, you should do something. You should put some sunblock on. Do it. Number 1, it really helps you. And 2, it can turn down the amount of conflict you can have in a relationship. It's really good for us as men to be out there and women also who are in the sun, but really think about it's not good to have so much exposure because bad things can happen. And again, I come back, thankfully, we did find this in time because it could have been a lot worse.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Is there anything else that you would like to add?
Well, again, the thing about skin cancer is they're almost all preventable. I know a young man in my past that developed melanoma, and that was a really sad outcome. And so really, this is something that we can take care of, wear long sleeves, everything in moderation. Just really take care of yourself, because you only got one layer, one set of skin to wear, and if we wear it out, things don't look pretty.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. That is Dr. Charlie. And if you'd like to find more information, you can go to necancer.org/skin cancer. That's necancer.org/skin cancer. May is Skin Cancer Awareness Month, and the Nebraska Cancer Coalition is working to educate Nebraskans on the importance of skin cancer prevention. That was Dr. Charlie, Dean of UNL Extension and a skin cancer survivor himself. I'm Ellen Simmons for the Rural Radio Network.